There are moments in life when things begin to feel strangely off. Not dramatically at first, just small shifts in the rhythm of everyday life. A sudden wave of exhaustion that refuses to go away. Dreams that feel too vivid to ignore. Conflicts appearing where there was once calm. And then the unsettling thought quietly slips into the mind. What if someone is doing witchcraft against me? For thousands of years, across nearly every civilization on Earth, humans have believed that unseen forces could influence the course of their lives. From the deserts of ancient Mesopotamia to villages in Latin America and rural Europe, people have whispered about curses, spells and rituals meant to harm from a distance. And strangely enough, many of these cultures describe similar signs that someone might be under spiritual attack. But here's the real mystery. Are these signals evidence of something supernatural? Or are they reflections of the powerful connection between belief, psychology, and human perception? Tonight, we're diving deep into one of the oldest and most fascinating questions humanity has ever asked. How would someone actually know if witchcraft was being used against them? And as we explore centuries of history, psychology, and cultural belief, you may begin to realise that the truth is far more mysterious than the myth. Welcome to Ancient Universe Files, the channel where we explore the mysteries of history, the unknown, and the hidden forces that have fascinated humanity for centuries. If you enjoy deep dives into ancient secrets and unexplained phenomena, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join our growing community of curious minds. Long before modern science existed, ancient civilizations were already trying to understand unexplained misfortune. Some of the earliest records appear in clay tablets from Mesopotamia, nearly 4,000 years ago, where priests documented rituals designed to break curses believed to have been sent by enemies. In those texts, people described symptoms that might indicate someone had been targeted by sorcery. Sudden illness, unexplained fatigue, strange dreams, and persistent bad luck. What makes this especially fascinating is that nearly identical descriptions appear in cultures separated by vast oceans and centuries of history. Humans, it seems, have always looked for patterns when life suddenly turns unpredictable. One of the most commonly reported signs in folklore is a persistent and unexplained exhaustion. Many traditions claim that certain rituals are designed to drain a person's life energy. While this idea appears mystical, modern psychology offers a fascinating parallel explanation. When someone truly believes they have been cursed, their mind can trigger real physical symptoms: fatigue, headaches, insomnia, and even immune responses. Scientists refer to this phenomenon as the nocebo effect, the darker counterpart to the well-known placebo effect. In other words, the belief that something harmful is happening can sometimes create the very symptoms we fear. Another sign frequently mentioned in stories about witchcraft involves disturbing or recurring dreams. In many traditional belief systems, nighttime was considered the moment when spiritual defences were weakest. Some cultures believed that curses could enter through dreams, manifesting as shadowy figures, being chased, or the feeling of a presence in the room. Modern sleep researchers have discovered something equally intriguing. People under intense stress often experience recurring dream patterns involving threat, pursuit, or unseen watchers. These dreams are not supernatural messages, but reflections of the brain trying to process unresolved tension. And yet, the eerie similarity between dream experiences across cultures continues to puzzle researchers. Then there's the phenomenon people often describe as a sudden streak of bad luck. A job opportunity disappears. Relationships begin to fracture. Small accidents happen repeatedly. For centuries, many believed these events were proof of a curse at work. But cognitive scientists have discovered that the human brain is wired to detect patterns, even when events are purely random. This tendency is known as apophenia, the instinct to connect unrelated events into meaningful narratives. When several negative events happen close together, our minds naturally search for a hidden cause. And throughout history, witchcraft has often filled that explanatory gap. Another deeply rooted belief involves discovering strange objects placed near a home. Small bundles, candles, herbs, symbols drawn in chalk, or unusual items buried near doorways. In many Latin American and African traditions, these are sometimes interpreted as ritual works intended to channel negative energy toward a specific person. Anthropologists studying ritual practices around the world have documented hundreds of similar symbolic acts. What they found is that these objects often function more as psychological signals than supernatural weapons. When someone discovers them, the meaning attached to the symbol can influence their emotions, behaviour, and perception of events. In other words, the real power may lie in the belief itself. History also shows that accusations of witchcraft have often been tied to social conflict and human jealousy. During the European witch trials between the 15th and 17th centuries, tens of thousands of people were accused of practicing dark magic. Many of these accusations stemmed from personal disputes, property conflicts, or fear within tight-knit communities. In times of uncertainty, blaming unseen forces, and those believed to control them, became a way for societies to explain suffering and chaos. What people called witchcraft often reflected deeper tensions within the human community itself. Perhaps the most powerful element of all is something psychologists call collective belief. When an entire group of people believes that someone has been cursed, that belief can shape how events are interpreted by everyone involved. Subtle changes in behaviour, concerned looks, whispered conversations, heightened tension, can reinforce the feeling that something supernatural is happening. Over time, the experience becomes shared reality. The strange thing is, the human mind is incredibly responsive to these social signals. Sometimes, the feeling of being cursed spreads through a community not because of magic, but because of expectation. After thousands of years of stories, rituals, and whispered fears, the idea of witchcraft continues to captivate the human imagination, not necessarily because spells and curses have been proven to exist, but because the experiences people describe, the exhaustion, the strange dreams, the sudden misfortune, are undeniably real. What changes is the interpretation. In ancient times, these signs pointed toward unseen forces and spiritual attacks. Today, science often points towards psychology, stress, and the remarkable power of belief. Yet the mystery remains compelling because it reveals something profound about us as humans. When life becomes uncertain, we search for meaning in the shadows. So perhaps the most fascinating question isn't whether witchcraft is real, but why, across thousands of years and countless cultures, we have felt its presence so strongly. Thank you so much for watching, and for exploring this mystery with us here on Ancient Universe Files. If you enjoyed the journey, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It truly helps more than you might imagine and allows us to keep creating deeper explorations into the mysteries of our universe. And if you want to support the channel even more, please consider subscribing and becoming part of our growing community of curious minds. Until the next mystery, stay curious.